Hello and welcome to Pereira Sports Network. I'm Manny, and this is the MLB podcast, first edition of the MLB podcast here on Pereira Sports Network. And I am very pleased to say that once again, I am not alone in this pod. Welcome, my boy Danny, really good friend, brother, obviously, for a very, very long time. Welcome to the show, Danny. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm very good today. It's, it's a great time to
Yeah.
be here.
But yeah, this is definitely exciting. I mean, first time doing this. This is obviously like our sport that we play, not only watch and cover. But yeah, I mean, obviously a lot going around on in the MLB off season. It's off season recording this in December. Happy New Year, guys, by the way. I'm probably posting this
Yeah,
the 30th or 30 or 31st, but anyways, so yeah, great time, a lot of signings, a lot of stuff. I mean, I was just right now quickly go we're just gonna deeply go over a couple things, but quickly go over obviously Aaron Judge, Yankee, 16th captain in New York Yankees history. Danny's a big Yankee fan. I'm a Marlins fan, by the
yep.
way, for those that want context. But excuse me. Obviously, Marlins just signed Gene Segura, solid deal. They still have a lot more to do, but we'll go more in depth on the Marlins in another episode. The big shortstop signed Xander to San Diego, Dansby to the Cubs, Correa. We don't even know with the physicals and whatever's going on, but most
Trey
likely
Turner
a
to the
Met.
Phillies.
Trey Turner, Philly, and Elise is hot. But yeah, I mean, it's been very fun. I obviously left out some good free agent and off-season stuff, which pretty much the three big things I left out, I think is actually what we're going to talk about. But yeah, so let's get right into it. Big trade between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Dalton Varsho,
Yep.
Gold Glover, wait, or Gold Glove candidate. I don't think we
Yeah,
won the
go
Gold
go
Glove.
candidate.
Sorry, he didn't win the Gold Glove candidate. Um, Lefty stick gets traded to Toronto for Gabriel Moreno, their best prospect, and
Ludus Gurriel.
Lude, my bad, fellow Cuban. But yeah, Danny, just initial thoughts on the trade before I give my thoughts.
I think great trade on both sides. Both great value on both sides. Exactly what the Blue Jays needed: a lefty bat, another corner outfielder to, stick out there for Teoscar, and the Diamondbacks got a good haul back. I mean, second best catching prospect, I'm pretty sure, in uh in the MLB. Plus, they got a great outfielder in Ludus Gurriel, who's a great hitter. Just a little not that great with the glove, but the hitting definitely makes up for it. So
I
overall, a
mean,
good trade.
yeah, I mean this Blue Jays team that now has a very interesting outfield room. Tapia is, I think, is still a free agent.
Yeah,
But Whit Merrifield is on the squad, utility, most
Kevin
likely right
Kiermaier
fielder. Kiermaier
and
there,
Springer,
yeah,
if he could
Kiermaier
stay
Gold
healthy.
Glove. Springer when healthy is dog. I mean, this team when they are all on the field, those three outfielders, definitely one of the best outfields in baseball, especially at covering ground. I
Yep.
mean, these in such a small ballpark, if you don't hit it out, it's probably getting caught. You don't want to hit the ball in the air if it's not out. If you gotta get what I'm saying, it's gonna be hard to find holes in that outfield grass. With these, especially if it's Kiermaier, Springer, and Varsho on the same day. I mean, that's elite. But yeah, as you said, the Blue Jays traded Teoscar Hernandez to the Seattle Mariners, a guy who's been a mainstay in that lineup for years since they got him from Houston. And a guy that almost got him out of round one of the playoffs. I mean, his bat is just uh elite, but not they're gonna miss that, obviously. But I think they filled in pretty well. I mean, They really needed a lefty bat. So considering their circumstances, did they fill in better? I don't know. We shall see. But they definitely needed a lefty stake. They were like in desperate need of one. And a guy in Varsho who had a 4.9 WAR last year, can produce some runs. He's pretty much could do it all. I mean, he could steal some bags.
Definitely
Now,
had
I
some
don't.
speed
He's
to
not.
him.
Yeah, he's not the level of hitter that Teoscar is. I don't think actually like fairly close. So maybe he could
Yeah.
develop. But he was like with the numbers, maybe the best outfielder in all of baseball last year. And man, did he produce a highlight tape. If you watch the Alton Marshall, you just see this guy diving everywhere, making plays. His instinct is tremendous. His arm strength is great. But he slugs a little bit, 443 slugging in 2022. The one thing I feel like that he lacks for a guy that strikes out and is like not a great high average is the walks. I think that's
Yeah.
something that maybe the reason he only had 16 stolen bags is because he wasn't on base a ton. I mean, 302 on base is like, with but the slugging was there. The OPS was good enough. OPS plus at 109. Really good stick, good bat. I mean, I think the Blue Jays got exactly what they needed. And if anyone could produce, develop a maybe get some better hitting off of him. I think it'd be Toronto, and in that ballpark favors him more as a lefty playing in Toronto every day. I think it's gonna be great for him. I think we're gonna see his numbers go up, and yeah, good for the Blue Jays, man. But let's talk a little bit more about the Diamondbacks because I think they're actually a frisky roster. I mean, last year Arizona 74 and 88. Not a great season, fourth place in that division, but they did go on a mini run in August where they actually won some games. So we saw the potential. Their bullpen was lights out in that run. They have Zach Gallen, ace. They have dudes pretty much like obviously Cattell Marte, um, Corbin Carroll in that outfield.
Jake
Uh,
McCarthy,
Christian
Christian
Walker
Walker,
who rakes. I mean rakes. But yeah, I mean they're
Kyle
right
Lewis,
now.
underrated.
Yeah, they traded for Kyle Lewis. Now Lude, you add him to that lineup. You have a really, really good catching room in Carson Kelly and Gabriel Moreno, who they got. But yeah, Kyle Lewis severely underrated. We all know. Oh, Josh Rojas has definitely shown some potential. And
Pretty utility
these
guy.
guys are all young. I mean, Christian Walker is the oldest, and like he's gonna turn 32. All these guys are in their late to early 20s. Um, and I mean Moreno now. I think he's the X factor on this team. I mean, we're not talking about the Diamondbacks like they're gonna be a playoff team because once you scroll a little bit down on their FanGraphs projected roster, you don't see a lot of names in the pitching.
Hmm.
They did get Cole Sulser, but other
Former
than that, I mean,
Marlin.
and Miguel Castro as well. They didn't really sign many people, and they're going in with Zach Gallen and an old Mad Bum and an old Merrill Kelly. Other than that, I think this team could actually make some noise. Like they're not going to be and by noise I mean like win some series, and obviously they're not going to be a
Upset
team.
some Dodgers and
Yeah,
Padres.
upset some Dodger Padres throughout the season, make the wild card race fun or the division race fun. But yeah, I think they're do. Let's not look at 2023. I think they're doing a great job with this rebuild. And I think it's actually a
Yeah.
solid run organization after they did kind of flunk the whole Goldschmidt, Martinez, all like when they were all together. But at the end of the day, they did underperform and they had their opportunity. In 2019, they had a solid season, a really solid season. And it's something that I think this team can be good in the near future. I mean, 2024, 2025, we could be looking at another contender in that AL West.
Ooh, an already stacked one.
Indeed, it is. But yeah, I mean, if Moreno and Kelly's a little better, I think this team could actually make some noise. But so we're gonna give grades. I'm gonna give the Arizona Diamondbacks honestly, like A to A plus. I don't know if you could have gotten more for Dalton Varsho. Now this is gonna open up the market or close the market a little bit because I don't know how easy it is. It's gonna be way harder now to get Brian Reynolds, and it was already
Yep.
hard. So I can't wait to see what the package that if he's traded during the offseason, which I don't really think he will. Today there was a little more noise out of that situation, but I don't see him getting traded. I mean, I don't. The only team that could
There's three
give a
teams
really
that
good
are contending
package.
for him:
Yeah, there are, but I feel like the one team
Mariners,
there's only a
Mariners,
couple
Yankees,
teams that could give
Dodgers.
the package, and I think it's the Dodgers and and the Marlins right now because I don't think the Yankees would be willing to give Volpe, and I don't think the
They're
Mariners
not.
have that much to give that the Padres would like. Now it's all about if they're willing. But yeah, anyways, off that topic, I think I'm gonna give the Diamondbacks an A plus. They're doing tremendous with this rebuild. I don't think they could have gotten more. And the Blue Jays, B plus to A minus. I think Varsho is great. Does this? They have really good defense all over the field now. Obviously with Matt Chapman, excuse me, and Bichette over there. But other than that, Bichette's solid. But yeah, I think B plus and A plus. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm gonna say A minus for the Blue Jays. They fill up their hole over there at left field, and an A for the Diamondbacks from getting number 3 overall prospect in baseball on top of Lou Discario.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
just great
tremendous
trade
job.
overall.
Fun trade. But let's move on to a take that I'm going to present. For those that don't know, I work with or collaborate with Swing Completo Baseball Network, where we cover baseball. Obviously, sorry, I got a little off the
Hmm.
road, a little distracted. But yeah, mostly Cuban baseball players. So check it out. Um, Great network, great people. Raisel Iglesias, Julius Figueroa, people have been on, featured on the network. But anyways, glory to God. Let's go. So when I say the reason I said that is because when I say that I've been on the Rangers and it's documented, it's through there.
Hmm.
Um, which is like I've been saying, I was like in August, I looked at this roster and I was like, oh, they could be fun in the near future. I mean, it was like Nathaniel Lowe having a heck of a season, and he did have a heck of a season, finished as a top 5 hitter in the American League. And not only that, I mean, they've really done the thing. Um, they've made some tremendous signings and have had a very loud offseason. So, obviously, Jacob DeGrom, they signed ace of the MLB when healthy,
One of the
like
best
the ace.
pitchers in our generation.
Exactly. The ace when healthy. Martin Perez was their only big free agent, and they re-signed him, who is tremendous in that ballpark. Obviously, he's had some bad history playing for hitting ballparks because he allows a lot of fly balls. They're not always hit hard though. Weak fly balls. So he's great in such a big ballpark in Texas. John Gray, who has had some very high ups and some very low downs. We'll see what we don't really know what to expect from him. But I think he could obviously be great. Nathan Eovaldi, who they just signed, he's going into his age 33 season, but a veteran, a tremendous arm with playoff experience, and has shown that he can be a great two on any team in the MLB, especially the
Yep.
in 2021. Let's go, and then Andrew Heaney, who's another guy that allows a lot of fly balls, similar to Martin Perez. And he had a great bounce back season last year, playing in a pitcher's ballpark. But he plays a great
How he
role.
could do it with us.
Yeah, he couldn't do it with the Yankees, but I think he could play a really good role on this team as a Swiss Army knife later in the season because Jack Leiter is the X factor. I think Jack Leiter is a can't miss prospect, a guaranteed star in this league. At worst, uh 10-15 year career of solid and like one all-star, but I think he's going to become a perennial all-star and become one of those dudes. Obviously
Yep.
Kumar Rocker they just signed, but I don't think he's going to play a factor this year. The one hole in this team, I haven't even mentioned their lineup. Marcus Simeon, Corey Seager, Nathaniel Lowe, Alodis Garcia, all are names. Aloli Garcia, I think, is fairly underrated, but gracias. But he's a heck of a player of 5'2". I mean, the guy could do everything. Heck, one of the most underrated arms in the MLB. Jonah Heim is an elite catcher, switch hitter, or can become one, but it's shown flashes of an elite catcher. Josh Jung, again, is their X factor in this lineup. I think he could do great. He's a great power bat. He showed it already. But yeah, I've babbled enough.
Hmm.
This bullpen is the only thing with holes. I mean, Taylor Hearn's a solid arm. They do have Odorizzi. I think it could improve throughout the season. We shall see. But yeah, tell me about the Rangers.
I like them. I think their team on the come up, obviously, and their rotation is completely bought from this season. They just signed a bunch of veterans and Nathan Eovaldi, Andrew Heaney, obviously Jacob DeGrom. Great rotation. I think it could do some make some noise, get some low ERAs there. And their lineup, they just need a corner outfield, and I think they're a top tier offense because their 1 through 6
Is elite.
from is has a potential to be elite. Yeah, because Josh Jung, he was number 15 overall. He's the number 15 overall prospect in baseball. He can make some noise there. Maybe go for rookie of the year. He's one of the he could be. And if they just get a left fielder there, just maybe like Jake McCarthy, I'm pretty just still a trade target. Maybe they get him. Maybe they get someone out there in left field. They have a really good lineup.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. I also think Brad Miller is obviously a veteran hitter that'll put up great at bats.
Yeah,
But he's not gonna make or break the team, but he could definitely bring in something. But I agree with you. They could use another outfielder, whether it's in center or in left.
I
Tavares
think
offers
Tavares is a
defense.
great. He's a great player. Yeah, he has great speed and great defense. Just
Yeah,
if he
but
were to
and
hit
he
for average,
yeah, he
just
hit like 260 last year, so it wasn't like he was atrocious. But he has about no slugging a bit
he also
like
didn't play a big
ability.
sample size. Only 341 plate appearances. So
Yeah, so we shall see. I mean,
and
I
he's still
think the
young,
Rangers
24,
and yeah, this is the fun discussion and why I
switch
wanted to
hitter.
bring it up. Who's to say? Because people were laughing when they got the Grom. They're like, "Oh, like they're not gonna win or this and that," but they keep making signings. And another thing I've just missed, I forgot. They got Bruce Bochy. Bruce
Mm-hmm.
Bochy, Hall of Fame
Hall
manager.
of
I don't know
Fame.
if
Yeah.
he's in or he's gonna be in. Like eventually, his plaque should be ready.
Hmm.
But tremendous leader, good manager. I think he's in it. Like he obviously like wants to win. He's gonna hold it down in this clubhouse. I'm sure he's built a tremendous staff, especially to help these young guys in the pen. But excuse me. Where do you think the Rangers rank in the American League for the playoffs? Because I mean, expanded playoffs. I don't think it's too far fetched to say. Obviously, they're a third place team in that division, but who's to say they don't sneak in? I don't know. Where do you see them?
I think so. I'm gonna say I think the Rays could make it over them. So I would say Yankees. This is not in order, but
Yeah, just
Yankees,
get it out of the way.
Blue Jays, Rays, Guardians,
And Houston.
Astros, Mariners.
All right, so you named seven. You named it. Okay. Obviously, the Guardians because they're in the AL Central, and or like it could be the White Sox. Whoever wins that division,
Yeah,
is gonna get in. I'd
I don't
say
think the White Sox rotation is strong enough for that.
yeah, but I don't. I mean, I think Cueto. Yeah, Cueto's still a free agent, but
Yeah,
they should definitely have some bounce back years in Chicago, both offensively and on the mound. But
definitely
I could
offensively.
see the thing with Tampa. I mean, I've always been the guy that's like I used to be over my skis on Tampa, but I was right because like I used to be like, oh, they're gonna win this division, and back in like before they ever
Hmm.
won, and when the Yankees
2019.
were building this super team. Yeah, it was in 2020, but I like before COVID. I don't know. I just like I was like, yo, Tampa's gonna get better, because they all these guys were coming up or whatever. and I was a little too high on them because I thought they would win in 2021. They got bumped in the first round because it was the one year where they actually traded for like a big bat, like the one thing they were missing,
Nelson
like a Nelson
Cruz.
Cruz. He didn't show up though, and also the pitching was kind of mishandled, like again in the playoffs.
Yeah,
But I think Tampa, I mean, I know they have the two guys at the top of the rotation, and Rasmussen was great last year,
yeah.
but I don't see the offense in this team. The reason that Tampa used to win so many games was because of their power, right? And Brandon Lau hasn't shown up late and didn't show up last year.
He
G-Man
was hurt
Choi is
for.
gone. Yeah, he was hurt, but I don't think in 21 he had the best season either.
He just hit for a lot of power.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's what they need. So if he did that, then it was good enough. But anyways, Choi is gone. Arozarena's their dude, so is Wander Franco, but
Yandy
they're not.
Diaz.
Yeah, and Yandy Dia, but they're not guys that hit for power. And I for sure know they're not a Guardians team that's gonna slap it all over the field and steal bags. So I don't see the offense in this team, and we didn't see it at all in the playoffs against Cleveland. So
I
I think
mean,
this is the one
their
year
dude.
where they're gonna have to reboot a little bit.
I think they're. I mean, their dude Wander Franco, who they actually gave money to, which we don't see that often, was hurt for basically like at least half the season, probably even more. Because I really had him in fantasy, so I was looking
Yeah,
at that, and he was hurt for a good amount of the season.
yeah, and
So,
it is.
and I
I
expect
mean,
a
the Rays
bounce
are gonna
back
win.
season from him. He's a great player, so I expect like 25 plus bombs, 310 plus average from
I
this
guess.
season.
I mean, I could see it, and even if he does, I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Like,
Yeah,
Meadows was another power bat in that lineup that there's just not there anymore, and Paredes, who obviously as a prospect, that was his potential, but he hasn't shown up. So I don't see it with Tampa this year. I mean, Kiermaier, their leader, the heartbeat of that clubhouse, is gone. So I think this is the one year where the Rays have to reboot a little bit, uh, and win maybe 83, 84 games, and maybe the Rangers fall there
I
too.
saw. I was
The thing
actually.
is, yeah,
I saw on ESPN they had him projected at like 94 wins.
that's pretty high, but and maybe they do, bro. Maybe I'm so wrong because this is the one year
Yeah,
I'm low on Tampa. This is the one year I am. I don't know. I just didn't see it. I don't see it after this offseason.
we'll see
But yeah, we'll
as
see.
time
I think
goes
the
on.
Orioles, it's hard for that pitching, for that type of level of pitching to repeat again. But John Means is coming back. So I think they could show up again and be contenders because the leadership and Adley Rutschman is a dog, and I think they're gonna be healthier because they weren't that healthy last year, if you guys don't
No,
recall.
yeah,
So if they're healthy, I mean, who knows?
they got some
So
prospects
I could,
coming up.
yeah, yeah, Gunnar Henderson full season. So I could see them making some noise in that they're in the conversation. So obviously Seattle's better. I think the White Sox. So I think the for the sixth seed, one of the AL Central teams, Chicago or Cleveland, whoever
Hmm.
doesn't win the division,
I
the
mean, heck,
Rangers.
maybe even you never know. Maybe both Central
Yeah,
teams could.
yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. So they're in the conversation, like for
Yeah,
both of them. Like
yeah,
one to win the division, and the one that's out could is in the conversation for the sixth seed. The Rangers, the Orioles, Tampa. I'll put them in the conversation, but I don't see it. And then I'm missing a team. Am I missing a
Mariners,
team?
Astros,
No,
Yankees.
those are all the teams above. So those are like the
Okay,
four teams for the sixth seed. I don't believe in the Angels. I
no,
don't know why. I hate to say that. I love Otani and Trout. I mean, Trout's right there. Boom.
hmm.
But I just don't see it. I mean, Tyler Anderson, I don't think is enough, but they have a bunch of other stuff. But we're not going to talk about that. But those four teams, and I think the Rangers could overtake any of them. That's just how I see it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like the Angels are due for a good season though, but like
Okay,
I
but
don't
we've
know.
been saying that since 2016. So anyways, Danny, tell me what you have for us today.
So we were the Braves made one of the biggest trades also in the offseason. So we were talking about all their extensions that they've made over the years. And they have 7 players that they signed over 7 years. As you can see, Albies, Acuna, both in the farm for a really long time. Olsen, they acquired last season in the off season. Riley, another guy, prospect for them. Harris, another prospect for them. Strider as well. And they just traded for Murphy and extended him. What was it, yesterday or the no? We were day before 27, something like that. Yeah, 7 years, 88 million. So 7 players they have 7+ years guaranteed with. That's almost a whole lineup. I mean, not lineup, but core of the
Yeah,
team.
I mean Strider's the only pitcher there.
Yeah. So 6 players there. You got your 1 through 6. But I think this team. I mean, I don't think it's that like terrible to say they're gonna win the division. In my opinion, I mean, they just added a Gold Glove catcher with that could also, you know, hit a little. I mean, he didn't hit that much in Oakland, but I think in over there in Truist Park, he could hit a little bit more like gaps. Just left field has like a little wall there. Maybe could put some over there. And you guys might say, oh, they let go of Swanson. They have a hole at short, but Von Grissom, I think, could hold it down there. I mean, he didn't have a bad rookie campaign. He didn't even play that much, but he was actually solid. He's only
Yeah, he was
21.
really good in the beginning.
He was 21. He's 21, so he still has a lot. He only played 41 games. He had 291 average, 353 on base, and he almost had a 1 WAR in 40 games, which is really good.
Yeah.
So I think,
Yeah, I
and
think that's a fair
I
take.
if and then that's if they all stay healthy. Obviously, they need some players. They still need a left fielder, in my opinion. I mean, Eddie Rosario is just gonna progress from now, as I probably think. But if they pick up another outfielder, which they probably can in the deadline because they're just like legends in the deadline, they could. This team is scary, and don't be surprised with another run. Which I hope
Yeah,
not because I want this team to win it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, fair. They're definitely a contender in the National League. Oh, that division is loaded. A lot of people are. There's a lot of noise around the Mets and the Phillies, but who the heck would be surprised if the Braves come up with it for the what seven? That would make it 7 straight seasons or something, because they
I don't
won
even know.
18, 19, 20, 21, and last year
So 5.
22, 23 would be the sixth. So
Yeah,
yeah.
5. Yeah, 6 including this one.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised, and I just want to say something. A great point. And as a Marlins fan, I'm just in complete admiration of the way that this franchise has been run for the past 6 years. Ozzy Albies homegrown, as you said. All these guys, Holson and Murphy, homegrown. They traded Freddie Freeman, the face of the, or excuse me, he walked. Freddie Freeman signed those were the face of their franchise, and they just trade for like the second best option they could have
At the
had.
time,
Yeah, like, and a top 5 first baseman in the MLB, a dude that was a double machine last year, and not as good as Freddie, but like a stud, and he's younger, and you get him
just
for
had a
more
couple
years.
slumps here and there.
Yeah, Austin Riley, who's a guy that I mean,
Stud.
after was a great prospect, but we had our doubts, like everyone did.
Yeah.
After in the 2020 playoffs, he was like weird. It was like weird his performance and his defense. But and we no one was sure, but they've done a tremendous job. Pache, they gave up in the Olsen
The
deal.
Olsen deal. Yeah.
Yeah, but they get their catcher, and I just want to remember. I just want you guys to realize, like the way they've been able to stay in contention. This is the same franchise that not too long ago
Oh,
was
they
like
were
a like now we think of them as like a powerhouse super team type playoff team when they
like in the
used to be.
'90s.
Yeah, when they used to be the fringe playoff team that somehow won in the regular season with Mike Fultonowicz leading the rotation.
And like
And
Julio Tyron,
yeah, and they just didn't have like it was like these dudes are winning, I guess, but
Justin
like they're
Upton,
yeah, like
and Jason
they were just
Hayward.
cute. They were cute. And now they have a
They're
ring.
now they're the big guys
They're
in
the
the
big
National
guys for
League.
sure. So yeah, I think the division runs through them because they're the defending division champs. So this is, I
I
mean, great
just
job. I just think the one thing that I'm a little concerned about is that your two leaders, your two heartbeat guys, are
oh
gone
yeah, they
now,
leave.
Freeman and Dansby. So I think that's a little cause for concern. This
Yeah,
is a
but Acuna
team.
is staying there
Okay, yeah,
forever.
but this is a team that, and we're running a little long. But anyways, this is a team that starts slow usually. At
Yeah,
least for the past couple years, they've started slow. And I think the leadership of Freeman and Dansby, obviously, their manager
sparks.
Snicker is great, and they have other guys in that clubhouse. But the leadership of Freeman and Dansby was definitely very valuable, and the captaincy that they held into like jump starting these things, right? And Dansby was the guy
Especially
that
in the
was there
playoffs.
all 100, yeah, especially in the playoffs. Dansby was a guy that was there all 162 games in 22 and was just always on the field, right? So I think Harris is actually pretty vocal, so I think he could become that. I really like him, and obviously, um, all the other guys, but they have a legit rotation now in Strider and Freed. They have
Strider,
two
Freed,
aces,
and
like
Kyle Wright.
yeah, and I think Strider and Freed are like two aces. So I think this is
One A,
great.
one B.
I guess I don't know. If they
I
start
love how
slow, I'll be more concerned than usual, right? So I don't know if I want to pick them for the division because I know that Philly team is really tight, right? And that's something that these Philly teams haven't had, and that's why they haven't done well in the regular season. So right
yeah,
now, I think the Phillies are like the Braves are the favorite, but the Phillies are right there. Like if the Braves start slow, I don't think they'll be able to recover like usual.
yeah, especially last year. I mean, last year they recovered really well.
Yeah, don't come in my SpongeBob mug, by the way. See what we have. But
I
anyways,
love. Let me bring out the fact. I love how Harris had a tremendous season, and they instantly extended him 8 years, 72, 9 years, like 9 million a year is crazy for a star center fielder.
yeah, is it weird to think that one of these have to kind of dud? Because
Yeah,
like
I
there's
feel
no
like
like it's weird. At least at the end of the, I mean, I don't know because they're not paying that much. I don't know. Maybe you can't. These are like such
it's
economical
like
friendly
yeah,
contracts.
like Acuna is 12.5 million.
Like, look
Like
at the Albies one.
yeah, that's
7
nothing.
years, $35
That's
million
five
dollars.
million a year
That's ridiculous.
for a great second baseman when he's
And
healthy.
Acuna, I mean, 8 years, 100 million.
For a superstar, a top 10
Riley's the
player.
guy that got the most, and we don't think he's the best player on that team.
No, but
And
he's
that was
definitely a
probably still
top.
economical because if he has another great season, he could have had
Oh yeah,
gone into free
easily.
agency and gotten 300 million.
Yeah, 100%. If Correa or one of those guys could get that, then this guy definitely
Anyways,
can with his hitting.
we ran a little longer than anticipated, but this is actually our second time trying to record this.
Hmm.
We had some malfunctions on the first one, and we kind of had to restart it next day. It's 1:10 a.m. Glory to God, we were able to get this done. Working hard. Uh, Glory to God, but this was actually pretty good, pretty smooth. I mean, the conversation was really fun. I didn't even realize the time until I just looked up and I was like, oh shoot.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, great show. Thank you so much, Danny, for coming on.
No problem.
Obviously,
Anytime.
yeah, of course. Obviously, this will probably be the mainstay for the MLB episodes, us too. Most likely, obviously, we'll see Danny on some Leading and Unity podcast. Obviously, we're teammates in high school ball. But yeah, some fun stuff coming up. I mean, God willing, with all this, I mean, of course, with this channel, and this has been a blast so far. And this
Yep.
right now, this podcast was a blast. So if you stuck it out all the way, thank you. I love you. And even if you didn't, I love you either way.
Hmm.
Jesus loves you too. But this was great. This was fun. I can't wait for more episodes like this to come. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a blessed day, blessed night, whenever you may be watching this. Stay tuned and thank you so much. Take care. See you, Danny.
See ya.